So about a week ago, I created a video giving you my 5 worst Arsenal experiences as a fan, and that's good and all, but I can't help but feel it's a little bit negative, just a little bit. So I was going to give you my 5 best Arsenal experiences as a fan. Let's get into it. So in at number 5, I don't think it's one that a lot of Arsenal fans would typically go for, and to be honest with you, I don't quite know why I'm going for it myself, but it has lived so long in my memory, and that is when we drew 0-0 with Manchester United at Old Trafford all those years ago. And the thing that sticks with me the most is certainly the scuffle between Ruud van Nistelrooy, Martin Keown. Ruud van Nistelrooy just missed a penalty which would have seen Arsenal end their unbeaten run. He failed to do that, and Keown and van Nistelrooy got rather heated, and it was just a classic moment. I don't think you'd see any player in the Premier League show that kind of passion, emotion, enragement on the pitch nowadays. The only player that in the current Arsenal setup that visually springs into mind is probably Jack Wilshere doing something like that. I mean, we've seen him do it in the past, but I'm certainly not saying it's something that should be encouraged, but it's a classic moment in my eyes, and it goes down as my number 5 best Arsenal moment. In at number 4, I really think this is a controversial one. It's one that holds a lot of positives as well as negatives, but in my era I think it's certainly been one of the best Arsenal moments that I can recall, and that is moving to the Emirates Stadium. Of course, everyone loves Highbury, it's one of the more traditional grounds, but it just showed that by moving to the Emirates we were a progressing club. We were moving ahead of the clubs in the Premier League, and I know that this has come with its fair share of negatives. Believe me, it's been really hard trying to watch Arsenal when we've been really restricted financially, but I mean, when you consider all the other clubs that are going to have to move into a stadium of our calibre at some point, what clubs are yet to do it? Chelsea are yet to do it, Spurs are yet to do it, Everton are yet to do it, Liverpool are yet to do it. I mean, realistically, we're in a very good situation right now in terms of financial structure, etc., and that we have a stadium that was going to last us for the next 100, 200 years or whatever. It's fantastic that we're in this position, and you've got to hope it's going to last for a very long time. And when other clubs like Chelsea, etc., come to building their new stadium and they're bounded by financial regulations, then that's when you'll hope that Arsenal will thrive. So in the number 4 is Arsenal moving to the Emirates Stadium. At number 3 is the signings of Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez within the space of a year. This was absolutely phenomenal, especially the Mesut Ozil one. To think that we smashed our transfer record by almost 3 times over was absolutely insane. The most expensive player that we'd ever brought into the club was supposedly Andre Arshavin at about 15 million, and that we were bringing in, that we could still attract players like Mesut Ozil. Years and years and years of people thinking that we weren't able to attract these higher profile players, and I think the bigger, relief in a sense was that Arsenal was willing to put down 42.5 million quid on the table. No one would have thought of that. At the time, Mesut Ozil, I think that was a very, very good deal for him, and he has to repay that transfer fee on the pitch, which I don't think he's done just yet, but he's only had his first season. He's been injured for a majority of this season. Hopefully when he comes back he's going to prove these worth that amount of money and prove these the best number 10 in the world. And it was an absolutely monumental moment to sign him, and a real statement of intent. If that wasn't, then certainly the signing of Alexis Sanchez, who has absolutely thrived at the club. Another high profile transfer, quality player. I mean, to think that we've got him and Ozil, I mean, 2 or 3 years ago, I wouldn't even dreamed of having these players in the same setup for Arsenal. It's absolutely incredible that we've got these players, along with the likes of Ramsey, Wilshere, etc., all improving game after game after game. We've got a really exciting squad for the next 5-10 years. It's really prosperous. So in the number 3, it is the signings of Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez respectively. So in the number 2, it's Arsenal winning the FA Cup back in 2014. I say it like it happened so long ago, but the reality is it felt like it only happened a day ago. Quite easily has to be one of the best days for any modern Gooner. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic day. And the fact that we came from 2-0 down to win the game 3-2, it was almost worth going 2-0 down to win it in that fashion. And the goal from Aaron Ramsey really epitomised everything that went right for him that season. I wouldn't have wanted anyone else to score it. And to end the 9-year trophy drought in that style was absolutely insane. And I do feel that the FA Cup, although it's not the most prestigious trophy, it's going to do us so much justice in the long term. I don't know what we're going to do this season in terms of winning it again. I'd love us to win it again. I honestly would love us to go out there and win the FA Cup. I do feel it should have been a stepping stone for us. I do feel that we should be competing for the Premier League, competing for the Champions League this season, which at the moment I don't feel we've been convincing enough in either of those tournaments. But in a year or so, a year down the line, I think we're going to look back at this as it's doing us the world of good. It was a great, moreover, the fact, just forget everything about it, us moving on from that, using it as a stepping stone. The day itself was absolutely incredible. So in the number 2, it's Arsenal winning the FA Cup in 2014, and as well as that, the trophy parade the next day was absolutely incredible too. So in the number 1, I think you are all going to know what one it is, and that is Arsenal going 49 games unbeaten, winning the league at White Hart Lane. I can't put into words quite how much of a magnificent achievement this is for us. And I was young at the time, honestly. I was about 8 years old when Arsenal did this, but you're never going to forget it. You're never going to... I've got the shirt from that season and everything. You're never going to forget a moment like that. And I think what makes it even more special is that another team is yet to do it. Chelsea look like they do it this season, but the league is becoming more and more competitive. Newcastle beat them. Spurs hammered Chelsea the other week. And I just... The fact that we could hold on to this for a very, very long time, the only team with a gold Premier League trophy, absolutely incredible. And to think that that team was boasted players of such quality: Thierry Henry, a world-class Thierry Henry, a world-class Dennis Bergkamp, the likes of Freddie Ljungberg, Gilberto Silva, Patrick Vieira, Robert Pires, Laurent, Ashley Cole, maybe that's an old one, but you know, it was such an incredible team. I've never seen such a good footballing team in my time. I thought Chelsea... it was always in the back of my mind that they might do it, but I'm honestly so glad that they're not going the season unbeaten. It's just something special about that team. The fact that it was built up from the foundations of the club. It boasted the likes of youth players, players that had been assembled by Arsene Wenger, players that had been picked out from the utmost corners of France that he'd developed himself, the likes of Patrick Vieira, Laurent, etc., who had come out of nowhere. It was an incredible, incredible team, and I think we're going to hold on to that trophy for a long, long time. I don't think anyone soon is going to top us off by getting a gold Premier League trophy, and it has to be my #1 Arsenal moment. So guys, there we have it, my top 5 best Arsenal experiences. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like rating, but more importantly, leave your 5 best Arsenal moments in the comments box below. I really want to hear from you on this one, and I hope this video has been a lot more positive than the previous video I did where I looked at my 5 worst Arsenal experiences, which I'll leave in the comments box below if you haven't seen it already. If you want to see more of my content, then please subscribe to AFC Game by Game. I'm trying to get this channel as big as possible. Like my Facebook page, which has newly been set up, and I'll speak to you soon, guys.